up in the morning, I got money on my mind. So addicted to it, all I see is dollar signs. Thankful to the Lord, he let me make it through the night. So dead or alive, I'ma go and get what's mine. Everyone that pulled me back, I had to leave behind.
Hey, what's up guys, we are back with another episode of Focus Fridays. Shout out to everybody who's been watching our previous episode, and always shout out to those people who are coming back again for this episode, and welcome again to those people who are new to our page and seeing this new face trying to talk some facts. Anyway, this episode is going to be iconic. I'm really excited about this episode, talking about my personal favorites, obviously, and yeah, it's going to be dope. But before we get down into all that, I'd like you to remind yourself basically of that subscribe button. I'd like you to click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you get a notification every time we release an episode, because we've been doing this for quite a while now and it doesn't look like we're stopping anytime soon. So do click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you get a notification every time we release an episode, because it's a good one. Anyway, let's get down to business. And this week we are talking about an iconic duo that consists of two people, my personal favorites, just like I said, people that I love, and the talent they bring up is quite iconic as well. And for me, a lot of people would say yeah, they just SoundCloud artists and all that, but I mean, once you get down into listening to their music, you're gonna know exactly why I'm talking about them this week. So this week we are talking about the one and only SavageInAZoo. You already know, and it consists of Marxim and Gambit. These are two people that I don't know how they made up and got to merge basically into one body that brings out a lot of talent. Honestly, for me, this probably has to be the best, literally the best duo and the best mix of artists that could ever be put out there as well. So I mean, big props to them as well, you know, for giving us this crazy ass duo that is really talented. Anyway, let me not get down into detail on my excitement, because I'm quite excited today. Anyway, why I chose these two today on SavageInAZoo, basically, I mean, they're one person, so why did I choose to talk about SavageInAZoo today was because a lot of people may not really know them, and that's not really the reason, but I'm just now, getting down to basics on the obvious. Not a lot of people, have sight of the talent they bring to the table, and they are one of the underrated kids. So I want to bring the underrated kids to the overrated kids so that you know why exactly I'm talking about these people today. They bring quite a lot of talent to the table. In fact, while I was listening to their music today, it was kind of crazy. You know what I mean? I got to jump to their music as well. So I'm probably glad as well to meet such great people. To have such great people in my life as well, because I mean, they're besides the fact that they have great hearts, and besides all that, I mean, their talent is quite dope. It's dope to say the least. So yeah, I chose to talk about them today. At the moment, they probably have 3 projects under their belt. It's if I'm not mistaken, Isaac, Nights Before New Black, which basically led as a Broadway to New Black, and there is New Black EP or mixtape. I mean, I didn't mean to say EP, but it's a mixtape. You know what I mean? So there's that. Anyway, without further ado, I'd like to talk about firstly their recently or latest release, which was New Black. Basically, New Black for me made me realize a lot of things about their talent and what they're trying to do in the music industry. And yes, a lot of people may know as well that I've probably talked about them in one of my interviews and all that. I have touched base on a lot of things, especially if you'd watch all the interviews and read the exclusive on my website and stuff. I've touched base basically on the albums now, but I didn't touch base on how I feel about the album or the mixtape or their discography. So I decided, you know what, even if it is what it is, even if you know already what I'm talking about, I mean, that's a good thing, because now you get to know exactly why I'm giving out my honest opinion on these two great artists, basically. My listening experience, now, before getting into detail on New Black, I mean, we'll get down into that as we go on, but my listening experience basically with their whole basically discography was quite nice, to say the least. Again, I think for me, how they orchestrate their talent is very different. You know, you're gonna start from Isaac, which is the first EP, their first project basically that they've ever released, and you get to realize that they're trying to create some sort of genre that a lot of people lose sight of. And now, basically touching base on how I feel about their whole discography, I think it has to be a dope thing for me to actually turn up, and listening to their music, because I'm personally the type of person who listens to the deep music, the slow music, where you just talk about what you think, how you see the world and stuff like that. So I'm not really the type of person who will get down into grooving or actually basically hyping to your tracks. I'm not the hype type of guy. Yes, I can be a hype man and stereoid sometimes, chosen, but I think for some lately these days especially, I don't listen to a lot of hype music, for the obvious reason that obviously a lot of people, basically, I'm not throwing shade on everybody throwing in some hype music or anything. I mean, if it makes sense, then it's some good music that you're putting out there, you know what I mean? So for me, I don't listen to hype music because a lot of people now who make hype music kind of like are trying to be like the OGs in the game already. They're trying to be like the people who are already, killing the industry, but they're killing the industry in their own way. But now they feel like if they kill the industry, like the people who are already in the industry, they feel like they can make it, which basically is where most artists get it wrong, trying to conform to a sort of way, or basically copying how an artist has probably gone through his journey or makes his music. So you find that a lot of people who make hype music especially are trying to sound like the likes of Young Thug. No shade no shade no shade. Alright, they're trying to sound like the likes of Young Thug. I'm just making an example now. They're trying to sound like these artists who are already killing the industry in their own way. Now, where artists get it wrong is where they're not trying to mold their talent into something they've produced into something that they've made in their own way. So that's where most artists really get it wrong. And I'm not saying SavageInAZoo got it wrong here. Their music has a lot of inspiration, but from what I could listen to, they seem like, especially from what I could listen to, they seem like people who listen to a lot of artists. Not only the hype music, but some type of deep music as well. I mean, I can imagine them listening to the likes of probably shit. I forgot this artist's name, but I'm gonna pick it up where I left off. But basically, they've taken a lot of inspiration from a lot of artists that they have been listening to throughout their whole music passion, or the way they make their music is really inspirational to them and to me. And as I listen to it, it really sounds like the type of sound that basically could go global, and I really commend them for putting out that debut EP. For me personally, it didn't sound like a debut EP, Isaac, or ISAAC, you know. It didn't sound like a debut EP personally. It sounded like, for me, basically their whole discography sounds like they've been doing music for a very long time, and they haven't been in the industry for that much long enough, basically. But when you listen, you feel like these are people who are actually, you know, putting out something that, you know, it's got substance enough for them to be quite really experienced in the industry, and only to find that they're just some kids still trying to find their full potential and still trying to find their talent and stuff. So for me, that basically is a great thing, because you don't get that usually. You don't get an artist who sounds like he's experienced yet he's not that experienced. You know what I mean? And that actually tells you that, you know, they're great artists. And when I did the exclusive, especially when I was on a call with Mark Sims, which is one of the guys in SavageInAZoo, it made me realize that these guys actually put a lot of time and hours and days and weeks into their music in order for them to make sure that they have energies that connect with what people are trying to hear or what people are trying to listen to at the time. So I came to realize that these are the sort of artists that do not, you know, release music for the sake of releasing it, but they always make sure that when they trying to produce some type of music, that's when when they are actually producing music or making music, that's the process where they're actually molding a sort of energy that, you know, does not take a few weeks to mold, especially when you have a lot of people who love your music, and especially as well when especially when you have a lot of people, you know, to please. Basically, I'm not saying that maybe they're in the industry to please people. I mean, that's their own intent, but all I'm trying to say is I think what they're doing here is a great thing, because not a lot of artists are like them at the moment. You know what I mean? Because most of the artists would like to release projects just for the sake of bragging rights, you know, so I can say, yo, I have a project out, yeah. You know what I mean? That type of attitude is usually lurking around, especially now when you have the likes of clout influencing most of our artists. So I think that's a great thing for them to take their time to make some music that a lot of people can love and relate to, and especially jump to. In my case, I don't jump, but yo, I can jump to their music like crazy. So I mean, that's like a great thing. And when it came to Nights Before New Black, I got to realize that I think these guys are making some type of sound that's kind of great or crazy, you know, because I mean, yo, how can you release something the night before something that you're gonna really release? So I think the Nights Before New Black type of project or playlist, I would call it a playlist. I think that playlist, for me, it's a playlist to me, because I mean it's a crazy one. I think for me it was just the Broadway or the road to New Black. I think that was when I realized this, when I had this exclusive with them talking about New Black, and that was when we talked about Nights Before New Black as well. I even asked him about it, Mark Sims, about Nights Before New Black, and he told me, you know, it's just the road to New Black. You know, it's not New Black yet. I think for me, when I was listening to Nights Before New Black, I was realizing that it's something that's forming a part of New Black. I mean, that was something basically that is more like a throwaway before New Black, you know, something that you could say, yo, this is just something that's gonna give you an idea of what New Black will be. So I think that was a great thing as well. A lot of talent they put out into Nights Before New Black, and then before New Black came about, and when New Black came about, I think was a great thing, because New Black probably took almost a whole year, if I'm not mistaken, Apparently they started working on New Black from April, and that was when they were trying to mold some type of sound. In my case, I think when listening to New Black, I kind of realized that they were molding the type of sound that no one has ever listened to. You know what I mean? And they kind of were trying to implement a genre in my context, you know. Especially, I realized this especially when I had this exclusive with Mark Sims. I realized a lot of things, and he told me, he said something about him or them basically trying to bring out a new Black, which is maybe a new world, new generation of music. In my case, I think for me was probably really creative. Not a lot of artists basically have this mindset that they're trying to bring in something new. You know, a lot of people like staying in their comfort zone, and in this case, I really do not think SavageInAZoo is in their comfort zone at the moment. I think they're trying to put out as much work as possible so that they can, you know, probably get the credit for it and as well get the love for it, because I mean, it's all about love. Wait, before we talk about love and all that, I'd like you to click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you get a notification every time we release the next episode, or we release an episode each Friday, because certainly there's no Friday that we are missing. Each Friday we're releasing an episode. So just in case you forget that we're releasing an episode, I would really appreciate it if you click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that we can do this again, because I mean, quite obviously and quite frankly, you love the content. So let's get it. Let's hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and we are gonna do this again next week, same time, same place. Focus Friday, 6 p.m. Anyway, all I was saying was, I mean, the love they have been getting, especially from the projects they have been releasing, I think they're probably one of the most underrated people. Like, I could say that, you know, they are quite underrated, and most of the time you'd find that they are really underestimated by a lot of people in the industry, because a lot of people feel like if your music's on Spotify, then yeah, this is probably worth the listen. But it's not about the platform, it's about the music. You know what I mean? I think that's one thing we should realize and we should see sight of, and it's something that I've realized with me with SavageInAZoo, is that it's not about the number of streams you get. It's not about the comments going crazy, you know, the likes going crazy, the followers going crazy. I mean, that all is a beautiful experience as well. I've experienced such. You know, it's a great thing for people to appreciate the music. You know, it means a lot, especially to artists. I mean, for one person like me who has a lot of artist friends, you know, and a lot of artists are in my circle. So, and a lot of artists are actually probably even bringing out their music talent now. And I kind of really like that, you know, especially lately. And they've been putting out some great music, and some new artists that have come about, especially some of them who are in my circle. I mean, we'll get to talk about that in the next coming weeks. quite exciting, you know, and it's something beautiful to see people who you know as great people to produce and put out some great music and talent out there. So I think that's a great thing. And I didn't really meet SavageInAZoo in the type of music setup. Yes, I met one of them, Gambit, in another setup. You know, that was even way before I even knew he was an artist. You know, and when I found out, especially when I first listened to, or probably first realized that there are people called SavageInAZoo, and I saw one of them, I remember very well, was Gambit. I saw Gambit because I mean, I knew Gambit for I think 2 to 3 years or something. So at that time, I think that was the year before last year, if not last year. No, it was the year before last year. And I had already known Gambit for quite a while, and when I saw one of his pictures there, releasing a new project, I think that was before we even did an interview, if I remember quite frankly. And when I saw him, and I remembered my interest basically went up to skyrocket. I think I'm more interested in people that I know putting out music, especially these days, when you're on the gram and you see someone new project out, yo, go listen to it. And I'm like, oh, I know this guy, let's see what he put out. You know what I mean? It was that type of energy that I had about SavageInAZoo at the time, and I didn't even know they were a duo until we did an interview, and that's when I realized, whoa, these things are together. Like, oh, that explains the different voice, and why didn't he feature the other guy? Something like that. So I was like, okay, alright, and then from there it took off. I hit them with the subscription button on SoundCloud so that I get a notification every time they release a project, just like you should be doing to my YouTube, basically. So I hit them with that follow button and notification ring so that I get a notification every time they release music, and from then it was on the up and up. You know what I mean? And they went from releasing tracks like they went from probably maybe say the lowest of their talent, or I wouldn't say the lowest, but I'd say the beginning of the talent, which was Addict, Sandtown, and Bygones, which is the 3 tracks that are in Isaac. And then you went to Hype, which was kind of one of my favorite bits. I mean, Hype was crazy. Went crazy on. They went crazy on it, and that was one of the tracks in Nights Before New Black. You better give that a listen. Search for SavageInAZoo on SoundCloud. And when I gave all that a listen, that's when I realized that, okay, these guys are onto something. Yeah, and that's when I kind of like realized that, okay, these two are into something, are onto something here. So then I decided to give them a listen as well, and then there came the interview, and yeah, it was a great one. If you didn't watch it, well, I'm sorry, you're never going to see it again, but another one is going to happen sometime in the future. Anyway, let's not get down into that, but basically over and all, my listening experience was a great one. I really love their music. Basically, personally, for me, they're the type of artists that can go from the up and up, which is the hype, and probably get deeper into your soul type of thing. And that was basically my experience with New Black. It was up and down like this. It was crazy, because sometimes I was hyped and sometimes I was just like, okay, this nigga's getting deep now. What the hell, So I think that was the greatest thing, especially when I could tell this when I listened to the track New Black and Conversations. You can notice the difference once you listen to both those tracks. That exactly what I'm talking about, or what I'm trying to talk about here, is that those 2 tracks are so different, and you wouldn't really think that it's they are from the same artist, So I think for me, the number of hours they put in to put out this type of music that they're putting out at the moment is quite a great thing. And for me, believe me when I say that these 2, or this one artist, SavageInAZoo, because they basically make one artist, and these 2, this artist called SavageInAZoo, because they basically merged. For me, I think they are coming onto creating a genre for me. I don't know what a lot of people have thought about the music they put out, and honestly, I really appreciate everybody who loves their music and who agrees with me when I say these 2 are actually coming up with a genre that probably has never been heard of before. And for me, the type of music that always appeals to me is the type of music that's quite different, the type of music that is not, conforming to maybe what some type of artists put out. And in this case, I think they're the type of guys who listen to J-Rock. Getting back to my forgetting of his name, but I think they listen to a lot of J-Rock, and the type of music that he puts out is kind of like seems like the kind of inspiration they're taken from. But anyway, I mean, that's a conversation I can have with them exclusively. But over and all, this was a great project, put out on the 27th of September. From then they haven't put out anything for us. I'm sure they're putting in the hours at studio, but they did say they have a lot of music that they're not releasing, and I really appreciate them for what they're doing for the culture. Over and all, they even gave me an exclusive basically on one of the tracks they haven't put out, which was probably a present, you know. They said it was a present, so I really appreciated that present. And yeah, I mean, it made me feel sight of the fact that, you know, they are really forming the type of new genre that's gonna live on for generations, and I really do appreciate them and him for that, you know. And yeah, big props to them, major props for them to give me my favorite track, which was Outro, featuring I'm a Crystals, which was basically probably one of the most talented tracks I've ever heard. I mean, that track was basically divided into three, you know. The sound changed 2 times, which I felt like was too crazy, you know, and it was way too crazy, and the talent they put out there was quite crazy. So I think Outro, basically out of their whole discography, has to be my favorite track. Just to wrap this episode up, anyway, this was it for this episode. Sorry you couldn't hear more about me or about SavageInAZoo, but you should hear about them, and pretty soon they'll be putting out some music as well, so do stay tuned for that. If you want to go listen to their music, just make sure you go on SoundCloud, type SavageInAZoo, and you're gonna find them with their really lit discography. I suggest you listen to everything, don't just listen to New Black. Yes, New Black is a great project, but I suggest you listen to everything, because it was a great project for me, and for everyone probably who's gonna listen to it. Was a great project. So I think I know that it's a great project. Anyway, I mean, that was it for this episode. Shout out to SavageInAZoo for this dope discography. I'm gonna turn up to this right after this interview or this Focus Friday episode that I've been sharing with you guys. So yeah, shout out to them for this, and yeah, I'll be staying tuned for more, and I hope you guys also stay tuned for more, and they are still going to put out some good music. Do remember the name SavageInAZoo for future context, so that you know, yo, Smith was talking about these guys, you know, and I didn't know them, so you'll know what I'm talking about in the near future. Anyway, this wraps this episode up, and this week's Focus Friday track of the week will have to be Outro by SavageInAZoo featuring I'm a Crystals. That was a great track. Anyway guys, I leave you with that track, and do remember to click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you get a notification every time we release an episode, and do stay tuned for more content, because we are not missing any Friday. Anyway guys, it's your boy Steezy once again. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Shout out.
They cannot fuck with us. Niggas, they stuck with us. These niggas are scared of us. They cannot step it up. They building, we fuck it up. The Glockies, we tuck them in. They waiting for our release. We hyping up all the streets. That new black be on the leash. You niggas be on your knees. You praying for peace. You ain't getting shit. Smack a nigga, he a bitch. Bring the figures, we rich. Call my dogs, let them eat. Call my dogs, let them eat. Get my dogs off the streets. Smack a bitch with a brick. Tell that bitch she rich. Tell that bitch she rich. Throw it up, let
my
me see.
niggas ready and fuck to stake on my troops. Tryna call this shit a charm, but I've been ready from the shoot. We've been ready from the jump. We were many, there was none. Fuck a whip, crash a car. Really made it this far. New black in the basement. Talking black like my skin. Talking whack like your shit. I'm coming back on my kids. You will never see me grin. I thought they did it off the chin. Finally fucking with the sin, but damn, a nigga man is sin. Yeah. Gang, 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 gang. Yeah. Gorillas are back again. Fuck the class, I left weed, I'm smoking on crack again. Fuck is you on about? Tell my niggas to the streets. Send the troops, he's deceased. Money stretching like Reed. Pave ways like Keith. Bitch nasty like C. Fast cash can't see. Backhand, I'm a pimp. Fast car, it's a cheat. Passed on these G's. Cast up, but I'm winning the marathon. Tell me you rich like the president. Even my bitch like the resident. I couldn't pin it, I'm better now. This shit is Leo and Gemini. Baby, I told you I'm getting high. This is the way I be getting by. These on the side, I'ma make you cry. Counting the well, top drawer, I'll be stuck on the shelf. I did this shit by myself. I did this shit by myself. This shit ain't good for my health, but fuck it. Listen, it's not over till we say so, huh? Mark, talk your shit.
I pull up on a nigga on sight. I beat a pussy nigga, you might die, bitch. My niggas locking up the streets, no passage. Bad bitch looking for a G, can't cuff that. I pull up on a nigga on sight. I beat a pussy nigga, you might die, bitch. My niggas locking up the streets, no passage. Bad bitch looking for a G, can't cuff that. He talk my shit and back it up. Get the cash and stack it up. Talking shit, I shut him up. Fuck a bitch and kick her out. Lately, yo, you niggas on some cap shit. Bad bitch posting up a pic, I'ma caption. Cause I pull up on a nigga on sight. I beat a pussy nigga, you might die, bitch. My niggas locking up the streets, no passage. Bad bitch looking for a G, can't cuff that.
Ready for this bitch, ho?
I guess it's been a while now. In a minute, I'm forgetting how to smile now. See it blowing up, as you call. You ain't picking up, yo, what's up? If I could take it back, when I did all that, still be mine, that's facts. I want the boy back. I was hoping that you would call me. Lately, I've been lonely. You don't text me back, I see you chillin' with the homies. Baby, I'm sorry. You ain't gotta act like that. Why it's gotta be like that? Wishing I could take it all back. Yeah.